Around 500 kilometers south lies the former demilitarized zone, or the DMZ. This zone separated the communist North from South Vietnam after 1954. Alarmed by the spread of communism in the region, the US formally entered the war in 1965. The Khe Sanh combat base was built to help stem the North Vietnamese supply lines the Americans called the Ho Chi Minh Trail. The base came under siege by the North Vietnamese in January 1968. Some claim that the bloody battle was a deliberate distraction from the buildup of Viet Cong forces ahead of the early 1968 Tet Offensive. On the lunar holiday, North Vietnamese troops attacked multiple US positions in South Vietnam. The Tet Offensive would ultimately bring the US to the negotiating table and bring an end to the war. The abandoned base is now occupied by a small museum and contains a number of American tanks and aircraft. While the DMZ ceased to exist after the reunification of Vietnam, since the end of the war, over 40,000 people have been killed by unexploded ordnance, which still lies buried beneath the earth. "100 kilometers south of the DMZ is the city of Hue, the former seat of the Nguyen dynasty, Vietnam's last emperors and former capital under French rule. The city's perfume river takes its name from the fact that in the autumn, flowers from orchards upstream fall into the river, giving the water a delicate aroma. The Trang Thien Bridge, which crosses the river, was designed by Gustave Eiffel and completed in 1899. It was destroyed during the French Indochina War and the Tet Offensive, to be rebuilt on both occasions. Its resilience makes it an important modern symbol for the city today. Further along the river, we find the Tien Mu Pagoda, the pagoda of the Celestial Lady. The complex was built in 1601 by a Nguyen lord. The Nguyen were the de facto rulers of central Vietnam at the time. The seven-story tower, Phoc Tu Nhien, which stands on the site today, was actually built in the 19th century. Measuring 21 meters high, it was built on the orders of the Emperor Tieo Chi, the third emperor of the Nguyen dynasty. The first emperor of the Nguyen dynasty, Gia Long, supported by French troops, was the first to unite all of what is present-day Vietnam. But after a series of military victories, the French forced the imperial family to capitulate. In 1883, the Treaty of Hue officially recognized Vietnam as a French protectorate, the basis of French rule in Vietnam for the next 70 years. The center of the old capital is the Hue Citadel, built on the orders of Gia Long and famous for its striking flag tower. Inside the citadel is the imperial city within its own fortified walls. The Tai Hua Palace is a powerful symbol of the Nguyen dynasty. The palace retained its ceremonial importance until the end of the monarchy in 1945, when Emperor Bao Dai abdicated the throne and transferred power to the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. Along the banks of the Perfume River can be found the imperial mausoleums of Vietnam's last imperial family. This is the tomb of Khai Dinh, the 12th emperor of the Nguyen dynasty. It was built on the outskirts of Hue between 1920 and 1931, Like a number of Vietnamese emperors, Khai Dien commanded the preparation of a tomb in anticipation of his death. His proximity to the French government made him deeply unpopular. Inspired by a visit to France in 1925 before his death, it was built with materials such as concrete, slate, and wrought iron. It contains a statue of his likeness, cast in Marseille. Here is the tomb of the second Nguyen emperor, Minh Mang. Minh Mang was well known for his opposition to French involvement in Vietnam and his rigid Confucian orthodoxy. He is also remembered for imposing Confucian tradition on ethnic minorities in Cambodia and brutally executing French missionaries. The imperial tomb is a reflection of Confucian Chinese architectural concepts. We can trace these in the monuments, statues, gardens, and in the bridge over a lake of lotus flowers, which gives access to the imperial tomb itself.